The first sign is small, easy to miss. A pause before they answer when you mention where you're eating. A half second that has nothing to do with the restaurant. You didn't change the reservation, you changed the math. And math between people who grew up together is the one variable nobody agreed to introduce. It starts before you say anything. That's what nobody prepares you for. The money doesn't have to be announced, it leaks. The car is newer, the shoes aren't the same pair from 3 years ago. You stop splitting things down to the exact dollar. Small shifts, visible ones. And your friends see them before you do, because they're watching in a way you stopped needing to watch a long time ago. The watching is not envy yet, it's measurement. They're taking stock of something they don't have a name for, using the only instrument they have, you. The first stage is the jokes. They come fast. They come wrapped in laughter and delivered at tables where everyone's comfortable. Look at this guy, Mr. Big Money now. You laugh too. You have to. Not laughing makes it worse. But the joke isn't a joke, it's a test. They're checking the distance between where you are and where they are. And they're using humor so neither of you has to acknowledge what the number actually means. The joke is how people ask a question they're not ready to hear answered. The jokes have a shape. They always do. It's must be nice with a grin. It's some of us still have to work for a living. When you mention a trip, it's the friend who tags you in something about people who forget where they came from. Not anger. Not yet. Just a small needle. A test to see how you carry yourself now. If you flinch, you're guilty. If you don't, you're arrogant. There's no correct response to a joke that was never really a joke. The first rule, the jokes aren't about humor. They're about keeping you at a height they can reach. Then comes the asking. It doesn't arrive the way you expect. Nobody sits across from you and says, "Give me money." That's not how it works. It arrives as opportunity. A business idea that just needs a little to get started. A situation that's temporary. A favor between friends who've known each other long enough that money shouldn't even be a thing. And underneath every version of that sentence is the same assumption. That your number obligates you. That what you have is no longer entirely yours. You say yes the first time. Almost everyone does. Not because the idea is good. Because the friendship is real. Because you remember when you didn't have anything either. Because the face across from you is the face from years ago. And that face still means something. The yes feels generous. For about 2 weeks, it feels exactly like what it was supposed to feel like. Then it doesn't. The second ask arrives faster than the first. It always does. And it arrives with logic that's hard to argue if you don't recognize the structure. You're already in, they say. Pulling out now wastes what you already put in. You wouldn't even notice another round at your level. That last part, at your level. It's the first time they've said the level out loud. Not to celebrate it, to use it. You say no this time. The no comes out softer than you meant it to. Almost an apology. They go quiet. Say they understand. And for a day or two, nothing changes. Then the temperature drops. Not all at once. Degree by degree. The group chat slows. Replies take longer. You get included in plans a little later than before. Nothing you can point to. Nothing anyone would admit if you brought it up. Just a slow, quiet cooling you feel before you can name it. The second rule. A boundary feels like betrayal to anyone who was counting on a yes. The ones who weren't asking for anything start acting like they are. That's the strange part. The friend who never mentioned money is suddenly different at dinner. Quieter. They calculate what they're ordering in a way that used to be invisible. They split things precisely now, not out of habit, out of something they haven't said yet. You used to move through shared meals without the math showing. Now it shows on both sides of the table, and neither of you knows how to address it, because naming it makes it real and making it real makes it worse. What they're actually doing is reordering. Every friendship has an internal sense of balance, not equal money, equal standing. When the money gap widens, the standing gap follows. And the friend watching it happen doesn't know what to do with that feeling except aim it somewhere. Sometimes they aim it at you, sometimes they aim it inward. Both versions hurt. The inward version goes quiet and stops calling as much. The outward version gets sharp at the edges. Sharp in the specific way of someone who learned that directness is dangerous, so they learn to be indirect instead. You'll recognize the sharp version. It sounds like a compliment. It's so great that you're doing so well. Delivered with something underneath, a weight, a small resentment dressed in praise. You'll feel it even when you can't identify the exact word that carried it. That feeling is accurate. Trust it. The compliment is real and the resentment is real, and both exist in the same sentence because the person saying it hasn't sorted out which one is winning yet. Give it time. One of them always wins eventually. You'll know which when the calls get further apart. The ones who disappear are the hardest to process. They don't argue, they don't ask. They just slowly stop being there. Plans that used to include you start getting made without the invite. You find out third hand about a trip, a birthday, a thing that used to automatically have your name on it. And when you ask, the explanation is always reasonable. We figured you were busy. Didn't think it was your kind of thing anymore. Nothing hostile, just a quiet reclassification. You used to be one of them. Now you're something adjacent. Close but different. Same city, different orbit. The third rule, they didn't push you out. The altitude did it for them. Not jealousy. Something more complicated than jealousy. Jealousy wants what you have. What they feel is closer to vertigo. The ground shifted. The reference point moved. For years, you were all roughly the same distance from the same horizon. Now you're not. And that disorientation is easier to solve by putting space between you than by sitting with it long enough to understand it. The distance isn't about you. It never was. It's about what your presence costs them emotionally. Every time they see you, they see the gap. And seeing the gap is its own kind of work. The ones who handle it hardest are the ones who were closest. That's the rule that doesn't feel fair. The friend who knew you when you had nothing. Who was there during the specific bad years? Who split a bill or sat with you in a parking lot at midnight when things were genuinely terrible? That one. The closeness means the gap reads as personal, not a shift in circumstance, a shift in loyalty. In their mind, the money didn't just arrive. It arrived and chose something other than them. And they can't separate the success from the story they're already telling about what it means for the two of you. You'll try to close the distance. Everyone does. You pick up more tabs than make sense. You suggest places that don't require them to stretch. You hold back on the things going well because mentioning them feels like a kind of cruelty. You shape yourself smaller than you are to fit inside a space that used to fit easily. And for a while, it almost works. Then you realize you've been performing a version of yourself that existed 2 income brackets ago. The performance is exhausting, and it doesn't actually help them. It just delays the conversation nobody wants to have about what the friendship has become and what it costs both of you to maintain. There's a specific friend in this. You know exactly who. The one who loaned you money once when they barely had it themselves. The one who never let you feel the weight of it. Who helped in the quiet, unremarked way. Who never framed what they gave as something you owed. That friendship was always the one that mattered most. And that friendship is the one the new money tests hardest. Because real closeness doesn't survive on comfort. It survives on honesty. And honesty between a person who has and a person who doesn't requires a kind of courage most people don't find, until something forces them to. The ones who stay don't stay because of the money. They stay in spite of it. They congratulate you and mean it all the way through. They ask real questions about what you're building. They don't treat your success as evidence of something that went wrong between you. They're rarer than you thought, more valuable than you knew. At the old income level, you couldn't always tell the difference. Everyone was roughly the same distance from the same problems. The gap didn't exist to reveal anything yet. At this level, everything gets revealed. The generosity was always there. The resentment was always there. What changed is the light. Money doesn't change people. That's the line everyone says. It's half right. Money doesn't change who people are underneath. It changes what they reveal. The ones who would have asked were always going to ask. The ones who would have stayed were always going to stay. What you're looking at now isn't a new version of your friends. It's the original version, finally visible. And what you do with that visibility, how you carry the knowledge of who each of them actually is, that's the part nobody writes the rules for. The fourth rule. The money didn't break anything that wasn't already loose. It just turned the lights on and showed you where the cracks had always been.